All right, we are live. Live, 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 live. Let me close out of this. I was sitting here. I'm gonna talk about that here in a minute. I'm gonna talk about that here in a minute because some things are just you can't help but to talk about it. Hope you all are having a good Friday. Sorry I'm a little late. I wanted to get to stream at 12 o'clock, but I had an important call come in. I had to take it. Then after that call, I had to run outside and take some stuff around the house real quick because the weather will be getting bad around here tomorrow before it turns to stream. Well, I ain't gonna say stream to cold before it turns cold here this weekend because we've been enjoying the 70s and you can't stay in the 70s, right, during the winter time for long periods of time and think that a cold snap isn't coming unless you're like in deep South Texas or in deep South Florida. But along and north of the I-10 corridor, it can get pretty damn cold, especially along and north of the I-20 corridor. It can get pretty cold. And so we're getting ready to have another cold snap for most of the week. And I'm looking at some long-term models. After next week, it might get very cold. Well, I shouldn't even say extremely, but abnormally cold. But after next week, around towards the middle to end of January, it might be getting seriously cold. I'm not gonna say winter just yet. But anyway, guys, today's a laid back stream. I got about an hour and 15 minutes. So I'm gonna sit here today and I'm gonna talk a little bit about America. I'm gonna talk about what happened in Minnesota. I'm gonna give you my opinions on some things. I'm expecting a few people to show up today. I know Random wanted me to do some reactions. If he shows up in the chat, he'll probably send some links for me to react to. I was in my phone because someone hit me up on Messenger and asked me about Geekdom's fan base Dragon Ball little shorts he's been making using old anime footage from Super, saying that Goku's coming back, Vegeta's coming back, and he's put in an anime form, which got people to believe that the anime is coming back or that he knows something. He's just not saying anything. And I'm going to reserve my comments towards the end of the stream for that. But I can say this. If the anime doesn't comes back and he's been dropping that shit like that, his fan base, he thought that Super the first time they, stopped fucking with him was a problem. It's going to be a problem. Some of the comments are going in. There's one guy in this comment section fucking just stroking his dick, but whatever. I'll get to that towards the end of the stream. But let's talk about America right now and the shape of this nation. Now, listen, we elected a man to run this country. People went out and voted. They voted for Donald Trump. That's just the crux of things, right? We got out and voted, and America voted to put Trump in office over Kamala Harris. And I'm gonna say something on record because I want it to be said. Both times Trump got in there, it was due to female opponents. I want you guys to keep that in mind. Trump didn't outright beat no man. Joe Biden destroyed him. All right, old sleepy Biden destroyed him. He didn't beat a man. He beat women twice to get in. Keep that in mind. Okay, that's going to set the stage of what I'm getting at here about America right now. You gotta check the temperature. Okay, Trump got in there. He put some pieces around him that is all about kissing his ass because Trump liked people to pucker up and kiss his ass and go along with whatever the fuck he wants. That he always been that way. That's most billionaires are like that. Most people in power, they know they got a lot of money. They want yes men and yes women. They don't really care for the opposition because they have money and they feel like they can do what they want. Jeffrey Epstein, Diddy. I got money, I can do what I want, and I can't be touched. And that's not necessarily true in America. You can get touched, right? So he surrounded himself with yes men, flip floppers. Our VP, JD Vance used to hate Trump. He's a combat vet. I'm a combat vet myself. He's a combat vet. Okay, I don't think he ever seen combat, but he's a combat vet. He was in the combat zone. Okay, doesn't matter. He was in the combat zone. Okay, so he made him the vice president after J.D. Vance years ago used to talk shit about Trump. And listen, guys, Trump used to be a Democrat. Don't forget that. He used to be a Democrat. Okay. Then he put Tulsi, what's her name? Not Gabbard in there, the Secretary of National Security. She's a combat vet. I think a lieutenant colonel in the National Guard, but she's also a combat vet. Okay. She's in there. You got Pete Hegseth in there, who's also a combat vet, who is also a flip-floppy motherfucker. He's in there. Okay. Then you got Marco Rubio. I call him Dumbo when I see him. Motherfucker got ears the size of fucking old satellite fucking receptors, but whatever. Okay. He put a lot of people in his cabinet. The shit that's going on shouldn't surprise people, right? Trump is only doing what he said he was going to do. And I'm going after people that's supposedly pushing drugs into our country, right? I'm going after people that had a vendetta with me. He said he was going to do it, and that's just what he's doing. So it shouldn't surprise people when he does some of the most head-scratching shit, right? But America put him in there. Okay, you can't have your cake and eat it too. All right. You wanted the man to run the country. He went on a limb and said, I'm for the farmers, I'm for the coal workers, I'm from the automotive workers, I'm from all you workers in America. And then he got in there. He abruptly damn near shut down the government, but his reasons behind that, I explained that a while back, because he wanted the tariffs and the interest rates to come down. He forced the shutdown for that. It's not because the Democrats didn't want to agree with him with the Obamacare shit and all that shit. No, it was because I'm gonna force the shutdown. That's gonna cool off some of the inflation. It's gonna get people minds off the Epstein shit. So when I open it back up, the Fed chair, Jerome, what the fuck his name is, Jerome Powell, has to bring down the interest. You got to bring it down because people wasn't spending money during the shutdown. People lost their jobs. He went in, he tried to shrink the economy, the government. Okay, a lot of people got laid off, forced out, had to take package deals. Okay, and that didn't sit well with a lot of Republicans, because guess what? Republicans got in the crossfire too. They lost their positions and jobs and shit like that. So a lot of people have turned. Okay, Marjorie Taylor Greene done turned. And give Lindsey Graham time, guys. Give him time. Give Lindsey Graham time. See, right now, Lindsey Graham is all on there. I got to save my chair, so I'm going to suck Trump's dick. But give Lindsey Graham time. He done turned on him before. Y'all remember January 6th? Oh, I'm done with Trump. I'm done with Trump. Now look at him. Politics is dirty. It's very dirty. You got Kash Patel running the FBI, okay, and he somewhat qualifies for the job, which brings me to Minnesota. We're going to talk about that, and I'm going to go back about America and the state of this country and what I believe is the projected path for this country. There was an incident in Minnesota on Wednesday, okay? Apparently, the lady that got killed, okay, was impeding with ICE investigations, okay, saying that she blocked off the car and all type of shit. We'll never know because there's no footage of it right now. And then the FBI came in and done seized Minnesota's, like Georgia got the GBI down here. They got like their investigation unit up there that the state's funded. It's state funded, right? But the FBI came in, made them shut down the operation, okay? So we'll never know unless they let it come out what happened. But based on what we seen, and I'm not taking nobody's side, both parties are wrong in this, the lady and the officer. And I'm explaining why. Because I have family in law enforcement. I have family that works for the FBI. I have family that work at the state level as well. So I'm not just talking from a place of, and I used to be a correctional officer for a while after my time in the military. And then in the military, I'm friends with some MPs. So this isn't something that I'm just going to say and not have any knowledge of. And plus, you can Google some shit, okay? When you're given a lawful command, it's best to just do what the officer is asking you to do if it's a lawful command, okay? And most cops will give you lawful commands, all right? Stop the car, get out of the car, it's a lawful command. especially if you're impeding investigations. It's a lawful command. There's nothing wrong with that. Now you can say, well, what the fuck I done? I'm not getting out my car, and that is your right. You have a right, especially if they're not saying that you're being detained or you're under arrest. And they have to give you a reason why they're detaining you or putting you under arrest. They can't just say it and then not explain why. The lady's at fault for not abiding by the lawful command. Had she just abided by the lawful command, she probably wouldn't be getting ready to get put in the ground. That's just facts. It happens all the time. That's why these officers been releasing body cam footages on active self-protection and, you know, police activity and all that shit. Those channels I'll be looking at. That's why them body cameras are coming out so fast when there is an officer involved shooting and stuff like that. And a lot of times the officer gave you ample opportunities. You just failed to comply, and then you ended up going the way of Old Yeller. That's just facts. However, when the other officer came from around the front of the car and stopped in the front of the car, that is against any policy in law enforcement. Because at that time, you are purposely putting yourself in a situation that can cost you your life. It's already a tense situation. And officers are always putting their lives on the line. But when you purposely stand in front of a motor vehicle that you know you cannot stop with your bare hands, if an individual gets on the fucking gas, is not something that law enforcement teach their officers. Okay? Because what happens is at that point in time, you are instigating, right? You're basically saying you're not gonna run me the fuck over. That's what you're saying. Like, you're not gonna do this because you're gonna do this. Knowing that the only way to stop a force like that is 9 times out of 10, you have to disable the driver. And the only way you're gonna do that by standing in front of a vehicle is to shoot through the window. Okay. You're gonna basically have to shoot in the window to stop that threat if that threat decides to punch the gas. So the way this is probably gonna be looked at in court, you wanted to shoot this lady. This is why you stepped in front of this vehicle, because that vehicle can be deemed a deadly weapon. In a situation like that, you got to match force with force to stop a deadly threat. So you put yourself in that situation. And any good prosecutor say because you had intentions on shooting this lady. Because if you watch the video, he was already reaching for his gun before the lady pulled off. Oh, and by the way, she cut her wheels to the right. She was actually trying to not hit the officer. However, he shot through the window. Both parties are at fault. Both. She's wrong for not following lawful commands. He was wrong for stepping in front of a vehicle. That go against protocol. Had he been on side of the vehicle, or had she turned away and he was down the street, right? And she started like to come towards him while he's down the street, like in his path, and he's down the street already, he has every right to unload on that motherfucker. Every right. At that time, you are coming at me at a high rate of speed. But from taking off and then you trying to turn your wheels, no. Now, if she had her wheels cut towards him and went that way, he had a right to shoot her then, even though he put himself in front of that vehicle. So with the FBI getting involved in seizing things, because Homeland Security, what's her name? Christy Nome, trying to paint a different picture when it's like a plethora of street cameras on that street. It's a plethora of cameras on that street, and we all seen the same thing. We all seen it. And this is where y'all can lie because y'all are in power. But if a normal American lie, like say you or I lie about something that we obviously know that is totally different, we'll get the book thrown at us. Everybody seen what happened. The Republicans is painting a different picture, especially those that want to get reelected. And then the Democrats is painting a different picture, trying to make it seem like the lady didn't do anything wrong. The lady was wrong. She didn't abide by lawful commands. And the cop was wrong because he put himself in front of a vehicle when he had to do all that. Period. Point blank. Okay. I expect this investigation, however, to have a lot of stuff redacted because the FBI then came in. We know that's Cash Patel's department. So the FBI then came in and they're probably going to leave some things out. And they're going to try to paint this picture that it was an act of domestic terrorism when that's for sure not the case. An act of domestic terrorism means that you was trying to cause terror amongst more than one person. All right, like an act of domestic terrorism is taking her vehicle and plowing it into a crowd of people on purpose. That's an act of domestic terrorism, like a crowd of people, not one person. That's an isolated incident. A crowd of people, or like an idiot going to the top of a building and then unloading on a crowd of people. That's domestic terrorism, or putting bombs out. Like the Boston Marathon bombings, that's an act of domestic terrorism. The Oklahoma City bombings, that's an act of domestic terrorism. Not a dumbass cop who almost got drugged down the street for being stupid, putting himself in front of a vehicle behind a lady who obviously wasn't thinking clearly, who obviously knew she was probably in a lot of fucking trouble, that decided against her better judgment, because adrenaline is a thing, that, hey, I'm getting the fuck out of here. They're going to have to chase me, which cost her life, which is just the truth. But for the FBI to try to cover it up, that's not a good look. That's basically telling the American people, you can commit a crime, and even though what we might do in return is not justified, we're going to spin it to where we can make it justified based on your actions. I think the cop should lose his position. I really do, because he purposely put himself in front of a fucking vehicle and then had his gun, drew his gun before the lady even pulled off. Okay. And I also believe that department need to be retrained, because see, here's what's going to happen. This ain't the last time this is going to happen. This is going to happen again. See, there are a lot of people pissed off. A lot of people pissed off. When you hear a mayor say, get the fuck out of my city and get the fuck out of the state and all this shit, when you start hearing people use terms like that and they don't give a fuck about them being heard, the temperature done reached a certain level now. It's not going to bode well for ICE agents, because ICE agents have to remember that most Americans are also armed with guns. And it's a lot more Americans than it is of ICE agents. You see these other countries, right? They have these third world takeovers. Like you see when rebels come into a town, they take over a town and all this shit, right? Because they're tired of the government and all that type of shit. Slowly but surely, that's what's starting to happen in America. It's just been bubbling in different cities. People are getting tired of ICE agents trying to kick down a door just to verify that you are a legal citizen in America when you've been here for 30 fucking years. Okay. Some people whiter than Michael Jackson's ass cheeks, they hassling them. Some people blacker than my fucking phone right here, straight from Africa. They made all their lives hackling them. And if you look like me, who's half Indian and black and shit, Mexican skin, oh, you the top of the list. You and anybody from the Middle East is top of the fucking list. That been here for years, got doctorate degrees and all types of shit. People are getting tired of that shit, because it's nothing being done in America right now that's making it better. Yes, there are jobs being made. I live in Georgia. This state has a surplus. So I see jobs. I see houses being built. I see a lot of shit here. But on the federal national level, people don't want to go to work. That's the internet right there, though. There's a lot of people losing their benefits. A lot of Republican old time voters getting their Social Security checks cut. Like it's a lot of shit going on, and the priority is focused on the wrong things. Deportation. Barack Obama deported millions of people, but not to this type of extent. It was more secret. And he didn't have a lot of ICE agents busting down people's doors, snatching them out the fucking house, putting those agents in potential harm. Do you guys not know that if national warfare was to break out between ICE agents and civilians, that the National Guard or the military would have to be activated? And I'm a former soldier. You know, you stand ready to deploy and engage and to destroy the enemies of the United States of America in close combat, whether they're foreign or domestic. At least that's what the soldier creed taught me. So if you have a lot of homegrown people working for ICE that's doing domestic terrorism shit, because ICE is technically doing domestic terrorism shit by just snatching up random motherfucking people, families of fucking people. Fucking, I seen some ICE agents beating people's asses. What about the pastor that got shot in his face? Even though it was pepper spray, that shit ain't funny, but still, you know, that type of shit right there is what's going to cause America to flip. What's up, Dante? That's what's going to cause America to fucking flip. That type of shit. That makes no sense. Okay. But if America gets to the point where it's tired, they'll have to activate the military. They had to go against their own fucking people. Because I truly believe if the Republicans don't rein in Donald Trump and don't rein in Kristi Noem, don't rein in Pete Hegseth, and watch, they're going to flip on each other. Just give it time. It never fails. This both parties. Democrats do them to themselves too. So it's both parties. They're going to flip. Kamala flipped on Joe Biden when she lost that heat because of Joe Biden. They all flip. Just give it time. If they don't rein in Donald Trump, the Super Bowl's coming up. Supposed to be ICE agents in San Francisco because of Bad Bunny's performing there, right? Now, I go to a lot of football games, okay? It's hard to get a weapon into a stadium, okay? Unless you are, what's up, Sham? Good to see you, man. Unless you are a officer of the law, okay, it's hard for civilians to take a gun to a stadium. But that's not to say them tailgaters that's outside don't have their shit in their vehicles, okay? And I'm gonna tell you right now. If ICE comes to the Super Bowl and start taking people, that ain't gonna. That I think that might be the straw that causes America to snap. Because now you're fucking with sports. Okay, you're fucking with sports. If the Republicans want to get reelected, they have to shift their attention to the American people, not Venezuela, because we know what the fuck that was about. And I don't think that's gonna bode too well neither. I mean, he went to the man country and snatched the man out of his house with his wife because he had charges on him, conspiracy charges. Nothing has been proven yet. But we all know that was to deflect from Epstein and all that shit. We know that. Anybody with common sense knows that. Okay. Now all Maduro gonna do is say, well, I'm technically the president of Venezuela, even though he stole his election. So I have international immunity. It's gonna be hard to dispute that. And then Trump took soldiers without Congress approval and went to the man's country. That's you can't do that shit. You can't do that shit. America pays tax dollars for the military. So guess what's going to happen for the American people? Anytime Trump deploys like that, some of the military, guess what's going to happen? Your tax is going to go up. You're going to get less on your tax return. I want America to be the country that it used to be. Land of the free and home of the brave. Military morale, believe it or not, isn't what it used to be. There isn't a lot of people in the military. I'm just going to be blunt. Yeah, it's people there, but it's not like what it used to be. When I was in, the military was fun. Yeah, it was a war going on in Iraq. Yes, I deployed. Yes, it was. But the morale was high. You knew what you was fighting for. All right, we knew why we was in Iraq, and it really wasn't to build Iraq and to free Iraq. It was for oil, because Osama bin Laden wasn't in Iraq; he was in Pakistan. Okay, we went there and killed Saddam Hussein, but we stayed in Iraq to rebuild Iraq. And every time a care package came over, it seemed like more bombs went back on the route we just cleared 2 days ago, because we funded our own war. I'm just saying what it is. Okay, that's just what it is. However, we did make a change in the regime in Iraq. We did mend some relationships. We did do some good there. Afghanistan was just a 20-year clusterfuck. Okay, especially getting out of Afghanistan. All right, but the point I'm trying to make is, during those deployments and during that time in the military, morale was high for the most part. Like, hey, I'm in the military. Now, about 2015, 2016, morale started going down because people got tired of deploying to Iraq. People got tired of all that shit. Okay. Then Trump got in there, made the Space Force. That's another fucking clusterfuck. But morale isn't what it used to be. A lot of people are, I don't want to go to the military, because a lot of people don't want to go to war. And believe it or not, I didn't want to deploy. But I knew going in with the MOS that I used to be, 19 kilo, that's an armored crewman tanker. Even though we rarely use tanks in Iraq, when I was there, we used a lot of Humvees and this shit, and pretty much cavalry shit. But I knew going in that the chances of deploying at the time, 05, 06, and then 07 through 09, that time was high, because the Iraqi surge was going on. They were surging in OIF. We was trying to get over there and really take control of a lot of stuff. So rapid deployments was going on during that time. And we understood that. So, but that was a war that was caused because of what happened with Al-Qaeda in 9/11. So there was a reason why we was over the Middle East for that payback. But picking fights with countries now just because you want to take over shit. America, there are so many people right now dealing with so much shit that if we were to start a war, I think that would break America. A lot of us can't afford to go to a grocery store without checking our accounts 4 or 5 fucking times before we go. So imagine what would happen if we have a war, right? And we're on the brink of war. We're on the brink. I mean, we're taking Russia shit. We're taking Russia shit. We're purposely pissing off Putin with Ukraine. But that's because we got the mineral rights in Ukraine. We attained that because Zelensky gave us the rights. And all Zelensky had to do to prevent all this in the first place, before Russia went in there and took Ukraine's freedom away, was to join NATO, like Biden was trying to get him to do. He didn't listen. He said, well, I'm not joining NATO. And look what happened. Russia came in, no Vaseline their asses, and now America been trying to bail them out. Now we got the mineral rights. That means we can make some money off of Ukraine. That means we can put American property in Ukraine, right? Because Trump is, even though he's kind of fucked up in the head, he is a businessman. Not a businessman I would trust with a lot of my money and shit, because he's a businessman, and sometimes businessmen don't do what they say they're gonna do, but he can put businesses over there to get those minerals. He can do a lot of shit. However, Russia wants that land right there that we got those minerals on. So Russia's like, well, I'm not getting out of Ukraine until I get what I want. Because Russia knows if I take Ukraine, Now Trump and America have to pay me some of that money that they're going to make off of these minerals. It's all a business thing. But however, China's getting involved in shit. It's pissing off Donald fucking Trump. And we all know Donald Trump, Mr. Garrison, you know, that button and that Canada shit when he nuked Canada, that's Donald Trump right now. Like, you know what? You want to fuck with me? All right, motherfuckers, I got something for you. You want to fuck? That's easy. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. Because Trump wants Ukraine. He wants that so he can start making money. Russia won't back down. China's provoking Thailand. We got resources in Thailand. So China's basically been saying if we get involved with Thailand, they got something for our asses. It's a clusterfuck right now. Then we talking about going into Cuba and Colombia and like 5 other fucking countries. I don't know why the fuck we nuke Nigeria. It's nothing out there. And that's Africa, man. There's nothing in Nigeria unless you in Lagos on the coast somewhere down in the big city. There's nothing out there. The fucking Somalis out there, them fucking man, they'll die. They'll get some fucking hysteria, E. coli. And, I mean, yeah, they was fucking with the Christians, but I mean, you have to understand that people know that it's just parts of Africa. You just don't go. You don't go to the Congo. Why go? Why go there? You know that they hack people up in the Congo. I guess they seen Jeremy Wade one time in the Congo fishing. I guess they thought, well, if Jeremy can go there, I can go there too. No, I encourage nobody not to go to the Congo. Don't go to the Congo. But Trump trying to bring peace to Africa because guess what? There's gold and there's coal and there's a lot of shit in Africa and the Congo region and shit. In the Amazon basin, well, not the Amazon, but and what's the river I'm thinking about? It's the Nile River. It's big, yeah, I think the Nile River. It's a lot over there in Africa that Trump wants, but he can't get it unless he bring peace and clear out shit and all that goddamn shit. So it's the Congo River, not now the Congo River. Yeah, the Nile and then the Amazon in South America, Congo River. So there's a lot of shit that fucking he wants. But the overall consensus is America isn't going the right way right now. The temperature's high. I keep going back to Charlie Kirk. I keep telling you guys just to pay attention to shit. You're having more people getting more brazen. I mean, somebody just attacked J.D. Vance's house, like the vice president's house in D.C. Like the temperature is hot. Yeah, lithium. Yeah, Africa, lithium for batteries and shit. So, or you talking about Ukraine? Well, Africa, you can make lithium batteries. I'm just telling you, like Trump wants to make money. And yes, listen, because we taking Venezuela oil so we can bring down some gas prices. God damn, some cold shit. but Trump knows if I can make money and put it back into the economy, that could stabilize some things. But it's the way he's going by trying to do it. And a lot of stuff he's just trying to bypass Congress. The American people struggling right now. But I think the tariffs are going to come down because it's an election year. If he keep the tariffs too high and people like, man, fuck, I can't buy no shit paper to clean my ass. I gotta wipe with my hands. You got to bring the tariffs down, which in turn would bring all the prices down at the grocery stores and shit like that, which in turn would get people to go out and shop, which in turn might cool off inflation, might bring the interest rate down, which in turn, if hindsight's 2020, he done stabilize the economy again, right? And a lot of Republicans will get their jobs back in Congress. If Trump doesn't do that and he keeps doing what he's doing, the Democrats are going to take the House. That's a gimme. I think the House has already been gone. The Democrats going to get the House. If the Democrats get the Senate and they got both chambers, the first thing they're going to do, I'll be my witness, the first thing they're going to do is start impeachment. And listen, Democrats, that's why Trump back in there now. Y'all complaining about the American people voting. But when y'all had the chambers, what were y'all doing? Oh, you go fucking give Ukraine all the money. I'm going to fucking give the trannies all the money for sex changes. I'm going to fucking do this shit. Where was the money going for the American people? What the fuck you doing? They in the Senate, we gotta get Donald Trump. And I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm like an independent guy. I vote for who I think can do the fucking job. That's just always been my way of thinking. Here, Donald Trump is not even in the election cycle no more at the time. We fucking gotta go out with Donald fucking Trump for January. Nancy Pelosi. Why y'all think she finally got out of Congress? Why you think she left, went back to San Francisco? She's the catalyst of all that. Huh? And what's the other guy now I'm thinking about? Fucking what's his face, man? The minority, Chuck Schumer. They the catalyst of that shit. They the catalyst of. And we got a fucking goddamn go out Trump for January 6th. January 6th been long gone at this time. And y'all still want to prosecute this man? Y'all waste all that time and still say, hey, we got to get these bills out for the American people. We got to do this. We got to do that. We need to start putting money here, here, and here. Oh, we're going to waste taxpayer money. And yeah, I agree with that. We're going to waste taxpayers' money and fucking just go after Donald Trump. The American people got pissed off at you. They got mad. Well, fuck. If they don't want to do shit for us, well, okay, we'll just vote for fucking Trump. Why are we going to put Kamala in there? She basically said, well, I'm going to do what Biden do. I ain't going to change shit. And then she flipped on Biden. Her and Jean Pierre, that chick that used to be the House Speaker, they all done flipped on Biden. Well, we knew Biden was kind of sick and pale and ill and shit. Well, the American people's at fault for putting Trump in there. The American people got tired of y'all casting them aside like garbage, too. You got to take responsibility. You just got to eat it. That's why Trump's back in there. And for the Republicans that thought he was going to come in there and be Captain Save-A-Hole, you know, you farmers talking about, I'm going to get meat from Venezuela and Argentina. You farmers mad in the motherfucker right now, ain't you? Now, so, like I say, America right now is so divided amongst the states. The Democratic states ain't getting along with the Republican states. The Republican states ain't getting along with the Democratic states. I live pretty much in a Democratic city. I live in Metro Atlanta, okay? It's ran by Andre Dickens. Brian Kemp is our governor, Republican governor. It's a Republican state because the rural area always vote Republican. But all the major cities here in Georgia, they vote Democrat. Yeah, well, hey, listen. NATO and America right now are kind of at odds ends, okay? NATO wants Trump to cool down the rhetoric a little bit because NATO don't want to go to war behind America if America provokes a war. Trump wants Greenland. And last I checked, ain't that fucking King Charles' shit? Ain't Greenland like part of fucking King Charles' domain? I mean, King Charles runs the United Kingdom. Canada's part of the British rule. I think Greenland is part of King George's King Charles's fucking shit. But he wants Greenland. He's talking about fucking taking troops into Greenland and taking Greenland by force. What the fuck is in Greenland? It's a cold Iceland. I mean, okay, I guess you can put military bases up there. You can put a couple of businesses up there. But what are we gonna get from Greenland? What minerals and shit's in Greenland? So there's no telling what's gonna happen. All I know is Marco Rubio's on board, Pete Hegseth's on board. like all of his direct cabinet is like, hey, we're gonna go in and take this shit. Taxpayers got to eat it up, but we're gonna go in there and we're gonna take this shit. And I'm like, it's a war coming. You can't just go into people's shit and think you're gonna just keep rattling cages and ain't nobody gonna respond. And here's the third point I want to make. Do we still have the most powerful military in the world? I mean, yeah, and that's why NATO want Trump to pull back the rhetoric, because NATO fears Russia. Because guess what? If Russia get to Ukraine, there's Poland, there's Belarus, it's Europe, like that. All that's up for grabs. Well, Europe is a country, but it's all up for grabs, right? Germany, all that shit's up for grabs. Okay, so NATO's like, hey, man, we need for you to cool back a little bit. You know, don't entice Putin too damn much. Don't do this, don't do that. But Trump is like, Putin's not listening to me. Fuck him, right? Like, fuck Putin, right? I got minerals in Ukraine right now. I seized the rights to that shit. I'm trying to end this war, and Putin won't give me what I want. So fuck him. That's why we're steadily providing Ukraine some aid. And Putin doesn't like that, but China is slowly providing Putin aid. So tensions is very high in Ukraine. Like it ain't been in the news lately, but it's still very high. It's like high. It's very high. So NATO's like this here. If Trump gonna keep fucking with countries, we're not gonna bail out America if a war breaks out, which will leave America open if Russia and China starts to want to come in and get involved with the war. Russia and China both back what happened in Venezuela, saying it was wrong. They were like, fuck America. That was wrong, what Trump did, blah, blah. They already back in Venezuela. Okay. And you got to remember, Russia and China are both two superpowers. Our military is capable of doing some serious shit, but don't think Russia and China military is not capable of doing some shit. See, we like to flex too much. We like to flaunt our military. Not as much as Kim Jong-un flaunts his, okay? Not as much as Kim Jong, but anybody worried about North Korea, Rocket Man? Everybody worried about Rocket Man. He up there shooting out his fuse up there alone and shit. The quote, what's his fucking face? Sir Elton John, the Coming Out song. He's a Rocket Man, very nice fuse up there alone by himself. So anybody worried about him? I think Japan can deal with North Korea on their own. But when you talk about China, you talk about Russia, and don't think that India is really our allies too much. They'll flip too. They'll flip. So India got a big ass military. Mexico don't like us because Trump keep fucking with. I mean, come on, man. We can't fight all them fucking ass superpowers without some help. And if NATO decide to bag out, we're fucked. It's easy fucking pickings over here. So I'm like, hey, man, the Republicans gonna have to kind of rein back some of that rhetoric because we can't take on the whole world. I'm sorry, we cannot do it. We just can't, and that's just the truth. And I don't think America really wants to go through another war. But the crazy thing is, history always tends to repeat itself, and a lot of times war has to happen because war bring about change. To quote the Dragon Ball Z fans, before creation comes destruction. And sometimes you gotta destroy the old shit to bring in the new shit. And that's where we're at right now. We're in a very destructive ass part in our lives, and it's not gonna get better overnight. It's not gonna get better by the end of the year, at least not in the violence spirit things, because we just what was it Syria, Iran? We just fucking bombarded Iran here with one thing about Netanyahu's fucking Israel. We just did that shit. That's chaotic ass shit. And we just went into Venezuela nuking their shit. And then look over in Gaza, they still fighting with Benjamin Netanyahu. And you got war going on in Ukraine. Like, it's a very destructive ass cycle period right now. And they tend to last for a decade or two, right? And normally when there are a lot of things going on around like that, it's just a matter of time before America get pulled into one of those conflicts. Yeah, I agree. And listen, that's another reason why China's pissed off, because they have access to things in Venezuela. They trade with Venezuela. Same with Russia. That's why the Russia cruise line and ship got abducted. They do things with Venezuela. But I still wouldn't want to go to war with two superpowers like that, knowing that we're already stretched thin and we're trying to assist with Netanyahu. We're trying to assist with Zelensky, even though Trump ain't saying it, Thailand, right? So we are pulled very far and thin. And that's why I say you got to check the temperature. You got to check the American people temperature. A lot of us is like, I'm tired. We just want to go to the store and be able to buy some shit paper and groceries and not spend $500. I went to Publix yesterday after I left the gym. I went to Publix. I'm gonna tell you what I brought. I went and got some blackberries, blueberries, strawberry, oranges, right? Creamer for my coffee. Some pico de gallo, okay? 2 little packs of chicken tenderloins, okay? Some fucking bread, all right? And that was it. I want y'all to know that those items cost me $67 fucking dollars. I kid you, I had a carry basket. That's all I went in and brought. Some fucking fruits, some pico de gallo, 2 little things of chicken tenderloins, some bread, and yogurt, coffee creamer and yogurt, and 2 small little Quest protein bars. On my way out, right there, if I checked out, $67. If I wanted to spend $100, I could have got me some shit paper and some paper towels and put $100 damn dollars. Not even fucking 12 items in a carry-on little fucking basket thing. $67. 10 years ago, that shit probably would have cost me $35, if that, maybe fucking $20. $67. That is the priority. The terrorists checking the temperature. Republicans going to have to check the temperature. Democrats, you're going to have to stop hackling the Republicans and take some accountability, and y'all going to have to check the temperature. You ain't said nothing that ain't the truth. That is all true. Because when you're poor, it's easy. And that's why the American people's pissed off. Okay. The low class and the middle class right now are virtually homeless. If you make 6 figures a year, and I'm speaking from experience, unless it's like 200,000 or maybe 150,000 and up, a family of 4 making 6 figures, if it's now $150,000 and more, you're like, fuck. It's not, you got a small amount of breathing room, but it's not like how it used to be 10 years ago with that type of money, when you had a lot of breathing room. You guys remember 10 years ago, at least, if you made $100,000, actually $75,000 and up, $100,000, you was killing it. You was considered to be low and upper class. $100,000 now to maybe 120,000, you're still middle of the road. You're middle class. Really, 75,000 to about 120,000, you're middle class. And if you fucking make anything less than $60,000 to about 30,000, you're low class, pretty much. Anything less than $20,000 damn dollars, you just fucking broke. $20,000 a year in America, that's part-time work year per year, fucking broke. Especially if you got fucking kids. $20,000 ain't shit. $2,000 a month now ain't shit. The average apartment, decent sized apartment, is gonna cost you $1,400 fucking dollars. Then you gotta put groceries in that bitch. You gotta fucking have gas for your vehicle. You gotta try to have, if you got a vehicle, you gotta pay it up. You got a car note. $2,000 ain't shit. So America's like, what in the fuck is going on? Like, what is going on? But all things don't last forever. Eventually, it might not be to the next election, presidential election. And that all depends on who gets in there. If it's J.D. Vance, is he going to go back to being a guy he used to be before he turned and flipped? Like, I'm all pro-Trump. Is he going to go back to being the guy that has a little bit of goddamn common sense? Is it going to be, Marco Rubio? Rubio's not a bad guy. He's an okay senator down there in Florida. But is he going to go back to being that Marco Rubio? Or is he going to keep pushing the narrative that we can just take shit when we want it? We can't fault Russia for doing what they do when we just did it. We basically said, fuck, we're going to Venezuela. We're going to take this motherfucker and his wife, and I think his son, and then we're going to take his fucking oil. Fuck him. I was listening to Tupac at the gym earlier today. Listen, America don't want to fund a war. I don't even think the MAGA supporters want a war. And honestly, MAGA is mad with Trump because Trump keep ducking and dodging the Epstein. They want the Epstein shit undacted. They want to see everything. MAGA's pissed off. His own fan base is mad. And I'm gonna say this here. Listen, this is coming from me. Okay, hold on. When you piss off, and I'm not racist, okay. I call my own race niggas, and I have been called a nigga, and I'll call a cracker a cracker. If you're a cracker, you're a cracker. Where bad, where bad. Well, I don't take stuff personally. Words are words. Okay, it all depends on if you're doing something else towards me that I would take it personally. Okay, but I'm gonna say something. What race was it that killed Charlie Kirk? It wasn't black. It wasn't us. What race tried to shoot Trump on his own golf course? It wasn't us. It wasn't us. How many African Americans you seen storm the Capitol? Not too many. I'm painting a picture. I want you guys to understand something. See, we don't believe in trying to go kill the president. We don't believe in that. We'll take from people though. We'll take gifts off your porches, and I feel bad for my race. They like to sag their pants in Walmart, show their drawers. I'm just gonna be just blunt. But it's like, what the fuck? Put your underwear up. You know, but we'll shoot our own people up. You know, black folks like to have drive-by shootings and shit, right? We don't. The president, that's off our radar type shit. We ain't got the nuts for that shit, right? MAGA don't give a fuck. Okay, MAGA don't care, right? And for him to piss off his fan base, I'm just saying, they ain't good, man. Because when certain races get tired of a person and they really want that person, you can have all the security in the world. If it's 1,000 of them and only 10 of y'all, including your detail, you can hang it up. If MAGA decide to storm the White House again, like decide to do it, there's not enough. He can get the National Guard up there. It's not enough to stop that wave of people. They ain't gonna, and this time they gonna probably have weapons with them and every goddamn thing. I'm just saying it, man. Like the temperature is very high right now, and everybody wants something. The MAGA wants the Epstein files. MAGA want the Constitution recircumvented, so Trump get back in there for a third term. You got Democrats. They want subsidies for Obamacare. They want money to go back into the economy. They still want to assist with Ukraine and help everybody else. So ain't nothing gonna change when it comes to putting money back into the nation. Yeah, divide and conquer. And then you got us, people like us that's independent. That's like, hey man, I don't care what your affiliation is. We put y'all in office. We should come first. AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, what the fuck her name is. Ask her, did she still get paid during the shutdown? And then ask her how good her health care is. Ask Marco Rubio how good his health care is. And did he get paid during the shutdown? That's all I'm saying. We put y'all in power, but you're not giving power back to the people. You're not giving the people what they need to survive. Just like this coming right here. Divide and conquer. If you don't have it, tough titty. And listen, I'm not saying the government needs to give people everything. Make the economy stronger so people can have opportunity. And if you really want money to get back into the economy, get on all these platforms and demonetize them. That's step one. Because a lot of people don't want to go to work. They want to make content and get paid. And then they don't make enough. So they ain't putting money back into the economy. They still standing at home, their mama and daddy. Got their mama and daddy trying to do motherfucking shit. If you want people to go to work and get in shape, and RFK, I gotta give it to them, more protein as a protein trainer, Protein is protein is protein. Yes, change the fucking food choice. Protein should be the number one thing on there because your whole body is made of protein. Everything starts protein. But if you want to get some money back in the economy, demonetize all these social media platforms so people will have the initiative to get up off their asses and go back to work. That's just the truth. That's step one. You want to get people healthy? You want to fucking change people's mental health and get them healthy? Get them outside. Get them back to work. Make it to where they can't make no money off this motherfucker. Stop putting social media on your cell phones. You know, keep it to where apps you can't download to your cell phone. Make the cell phone where it used to be just a phone where you dial and took pictures on. Excuse me, hit my keyboard. That's how you can stop all the other shit. The computers I'm sitting at, these desktops, that's one thing. But a lot of people spend a lot of time on the internet, and then they mind get fucked up. They get into bad shit. They get desensitized on shit. A lot of kids commit suicide because they're online being informed they shouldn't be in. Like, if you want to do better by American standards, that's where you start. Start there. Start there. And then people go back to work. Kids will go outside and play. People will stop getting sick. Why? You're getting sunlight. Your skin is it is the biggest organ on your body. Its job is to absorb and filtrate. Vitamin D is good for the brain. That's a fact. I'm not going to make this a scientific personal training session, but it helps to get outside. It helps overall to exercise and get outside. But we spend a lot of time fixated on TVs, what's going on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Kick, Twitch, and nothing's getting done. Nothing's getting done. And so when you see women, and this is where the change is going to come in. Y'all hear me out. Listen. When you see women, I live here in Georgia. I'm telling you, drive up around Blairsville. Drive up around J and Helen and shit. I was up there for Oktoberfest last year. Well, actually in 2024. I missed 2025. On the way up there, going through the mountains, we were coming on the backside of Gainesville. We came up to some road construction right before you get to Cleveland, taking the scenic route. I seen mainly women out there doing the road construction. Now, that's not something that's groundbreaking. When I was a teenager, I remember my dad worked for a particular company in Texas. They paved roads, and it was a few women that worked with them then. But the majority, I seen the majority of people that were working their equipment was women. It may have been like 3 or 4 men. It was like 20 of them. It was mainly women. They were directing traffic. They were fucking plowing the goddamn road. And that's why men's complaining about shit, but you don't do the work. My wife is a manager at a warehouse. It's mainly women working in the warehouse. It's men there, but it's mainly women. She's a manager. And all the guys do is complain about shit. Well, if you come to work, maybe you get promoted, motherfucker. Women are slowly taking over because men, they want to be on Facebook. They want to do the parlay. They want to gamble. They want to do all this shit. It's nothing getting done. You're starting to see more women in Congress. You're starting to see more women become powerful in Congress, too. You're starting to see more women governors, more women mayors. Because men never got how to be men. And men don't want to deal with shit. Testosterone's low. They don't get outside, don't get enough sun. They don't have enough muscle. They be on the internet all day looking at porn. Porn. When I was a kid, you had to get videotapes to watch Playboy or fucking Showtime and shit. I can go on my phone and probably fucking in 2 minutes pull up 15 goddamn porn sites because they easy accessible. You can just go on Google, type in top porn sites, and you'll get about 15 holes right there on the front page. X videos, Pornhub and shit. You get about 15 on the front goddamn page. Now then, there go the bedroom. That goes doing your job in the bedroom, man, because you desensitized on porn all goddamn day. Then your dick don't work. Then you blame everybody else. Hey, I don't know why you so surprised, but guys, I'm gonna end on a lighter note. I'm gonna get off here. I got about 10 more minutes. I'm in a lighter note because he says about the Cowboys. I'm gonna say something here real quick about football, real quick. We all have to take a step back. I don't care if you're racist. I don't care your skin color. I don't dabble in that shit. I see a human being. I don't dabble in that type of world. Because when you dabble in that world, you get lost in that world. When I see a white man, the first thing come to mind is, I don't care if he's racist or not. He's still a human fucking being. He'll die one day. It's like I'm gonna fucking die. I don't too much that psyches. I don't get into that. However, he's still a human being. And this goes for all the races in America, all the ethnicities in America. I'm not saying we should hold hands and kumbaya. I'm not saying that, because I think that's a little bit too close for comfort. Okay. What I'm saying is, though, we all have to take a step back and look at the entire situation in America and then say, well, where do I want to be in the next 5 years? What do I want to do? Can I provide for my family? Can I leave back here some generational wealth for my family? That should all be our goals, right? I'll be 40 this year, so I'm halfway through life. And I done came a long way, right, from where I came from. And the only thing on my mind is, how can I leave something for my kids, and whenever I have grandkids, generational wealth? I'm not like the typical African American that's waiting around for reparations. I don't believe in that 40 acres of the mule shit. Right? What happened to my great granddaddy ain't got shit to do with me. I don't fucking care about that shit. Right? If a lot of us would have that mentality right there, we'll be better off. Hard times don't last always. Hard people do. It takes a lot to break a diamond, right? Become a diamond. Become as sharp as a diamond and hard as a diamond. Because it's not going to get easier in the next few months. It's going to get harder, actually. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't go to war. I'm more leaning to we are for a few years. Going to probably be back in another fucking war if this keeps up. If that happens, you're going to have to make a lot of changes to your life, because I have a feeling it might be here in our country. You can't keep going to other people's countries and think that your country can't get got. It's just too much going on right now. So we all should take a step back and dial back the rhetoric. ChatGPT, and that's not too good neither, but I can understand, because you can't really talk to people. Everybody's just like, fuck you. You know, like, I don't care right now, but people have to get on the same page. I don't care if you're a MAGA supporter, because guess what? Believe it or not, some of you MAGA supporters, you lost your job during the government shutdown. You lost your job working in Congress when Trump started to resize the Congress, resize the government, right? Some of y'all can't afford to buy your family nothing to eat. I don't care if you're racist. Some of y'all racist motherfuckers in the same boat as us. So we all need to come together. Like I say, if we don't, we'll be divided. And at that time, may the strongest fucking family and fucking color win, right? But it should not get to that point. We are Americans. We should be united. We need to start blocking out the stuff that we know is dividing us when it's blaming the other side. I believe if Congress had a singular party, we wouldn't be so divided, because that singular party will all vote for the same thing. But I understand why Congress is like that. It's to keep the president from having too much power. I understand that. However, if you had a united party and you know the president wants some dumb shit, we fuck that. We ain't doing that. When you have Democrats, it's easy for Democrats to blame Republicans. When you have Republicans, it's easy for Republicans to blame Democrats. If you have a House and a Senate, two different parties, they have to talk to one another, but a lot of times it's stalemate, so shit don't get done. we all need to be united as Americans. But that day may not happen in our lifetimes. But I know that's the recipe for success. That right there is the recipe for success. Of course, Donald Trump doesn't care for that. Donald Trump he loves chaos. You can just look at Trump. Trump likes chaos. Trump is Vince McMahon unleashed. He likes chaos. That's just Trump. He likes to flex his muscles. If Melania was giving him a lot of pussy, I don't think Trump be so angry all the time. But I'm not gonna touch that. I Trump like fucking porn stars and shit. I'm not gonna touch that. Trump make Bill Clinton look like a saint. Trump like Stormy Daniels and all them porn stars them in there. I mean, Melania gonna have to start giving Trump a lot of BJ something. Calm the man down, man. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. But anyway, I'm gonna end up the Cowboy talk real quick, and I'm gonna get off of here. I had a good stream. I sometimes it's just good to sit back and reflect on what's going on in the world and just really talk about it, right? Listen, Cowboys. Somebody tell Jerry Jones to stop fucking going back in time, telling stories when the question that's asked to him doesn't involve him telling a story. Okay. See, the reason why the Cowboys probably won't touch the Super Bowl for another 20 years or so, because Jerry Jones like sit there and say, well, when I first took the team over in the 1970s, and the first thing I did, I got rid of Tom Landry, and I took a gamble, and I go back to Arkansas. I like to walk down this road in Arkansas, and I like to think about where I came from. And then the 90s came, and I let Coach Jeremy Johnson go. We'd seen differently, and we did win 3 Super Bowls in the 90s. But I believe in giving the team the best opportunity to win, and it's all about where I put my money. No, Jerry Jones. The question was asked, what is it going to take for the Cowboys to get back into the goddamn playoffs? All Jerry Jones had to say was, I'm going to hire the right GM. I'm going to make sure we get the right head coach. I'm going to keep my hands out of shit and let them run the fucking team. This is coming from Falcon guy, by the way. I love watching Arthur Blank's press conference. The man is cognitively sound. He answered all the questions at 83 years old. Okay, I got to shake Arthur's hand here a few weeks ago at the game. And when a billionaire shakes your hand, you don't want to wash your hands. Okay, and I'm gonna upload all those videos here in the near future. I got a lot of the NFL videos for me at the games that I just didn't want to just keep uploading per week. So the last 4 or 5 games, I just record a lot of clips and put them all together and everything. And in one of those clips, you see Arthur Blank shaking my hand, and that's when a billionaire shakes your hand. You don't want to go home and just wash it. I washed my hands, but like that, they're like, Arthur Blank just shook my hand. Like, Arthur Blank, like, wow, I'm a commoner, compared to my income to his, I'm a common man, I'm just a guy that's a season ticket holder, and I'm up here. I got the opportunity to do volunteer work for the NFL on behalf of the Falcons, do Rise of Flag crew with the Falcons for the Falcons and stuff. So to be able to be down there in front of the team locker room, and Jerry Jones, I keep saying Jerry Jones, and Arthur Blank is coming to go into the locker room, and then he's shaking hands, not shaking everybody's hand, but shaking hands. All I did was, Arthur, just shook my hand out there, and he looked at me, and he just shook, it was one of those shakes. I'm like, man, he just shook my hand. I'm thinking he was just going to walk on by like, I don't see your fucking hand there, man. He took time to shake my hand. Terry Fontenot, every time I seen Terry, he would always shake my hand and shit like that, and same with Raheem and shit. And then my face became normal up there. So, some of the players started to see some of the same people. So they didn't mind giving me fist bumps. B-John would give me fist bumps, and fucking Drake from time to time, they would see my face because they can tell who's there and who ain't there, So, but the Cowboys would never, ever, and I will be doing it again this upcoming season, by the way. Cowboys would never, ever, as long as Jerry Jones is alive, touch Super Bowl. And congrats to Miami last night. Ole Miss let y'all make it. Ole Miss let y'all get in there last night. Indiana better play like they lie depend on tonight, or they gonna get upset at 2. Okay. And then to touch the playoffs real quick before I get off of here. Steelers, Texans. That's Monday night. But I'm gonna go over the whole playoff picture. Just in my opinion, this upcoming weekend. You got Chargers, Patriots. You got Bills, Jaguars. I recall. You got Niners, fucking Panthers. You got Rams and Panthers. You got Niners and Bears. And you got Niners and Bears. Is it Niners and Bears? No. Niners and Eagles, Bears and Green Bay. Okay. I'm gonna start Saturday. I think the Panthers play tomorrow, and I think Green Bay. I think play tomorrow. I think. Don't quote me on that. Matter of fact, I don't want to get it wrong, so I'm gonna type it in real quick before I get off of here. Let's see. Let's see. You guys can't see the screen, so because I don't want to share screen right now. It's just about football. Yeah, you got Panthers tomorrow, and you got the Bears tomorrow. So here's my prediction. On that on these two games. Fuck, I'll share the screen real quick before I get off of here. I got about 3-4 minutes. I'll share the screen real quick. Okay. So I'm gonna be blunt with you. Rams gonna destroy the Panthers. And Panthers, you're welcome. We gave y'all the division to go. So we didn't want the Bucks to go. Rams defeat the Panthers. The Panthers go 8-10. Rams should win that game by 15 fucking points. That don't even waste your time watching that game. Packers, Bears. Let me say this. If the Packers don't beat the Bears, Matt LaFleur is leaving Green Bay. I'm calling it now. All you Packer fans, I'm calling it right now. If the Packers don't beat the Bears and go beyond to the division round, I think Matt LaFleur is done up in Green Bay. And that is a fan-owned team. There's no beer there. That is a fan-owned team in Green Bay. So I'm just putting it out there. Here's the game that I really want to watch Sunday. If Buffalo get past Jacksonville, right? If Josh Allen can get past Trevor Lawrence, I wouldn't sleep on the Bills going to the Super Bowl this year because you got no Pat Mahomes, you got no Joe Burrow, you got no Lamar Jackson. Those are all his kryptonites. So I'm a favor the Bills because it's going to be in Jacksonville. And unless it's raining in Jacksonville, the Bills are probably going to – it's going to be a good game, but the Bills should win. I'm going to say this too about the Bills. If the Bills don't beat the Jaguars, Sean McDermott might be on the chopping block, which is why John Harbaugh isn't taking no calls right now. Eagles, Niners, money's on the Niners to beat the Eagles. By Chargers. You got to go to New England Sunday night. It's going to be cold as fuck. It's Archer Front coming through this weekend. It's probably going to be snow on the ground. Foxborough, Patriots going to probably go to the division round. And as much as I like the Texans, okay, because I'm from that area. I was born and raised in Brenham, Texas. I live in Metro Atlanta now. So I'm from that area. Outside of Houston. Just go to all the time, Six Flags, all the fucking time. Grew up basically in Houston. Love the city. Went to both WrestleManias, one in Astrodome, one in NRG Stadium, with Reliance Stadium. They changed the name with 17 and 17 and 25. Listen, y'all gotta go to Pittsburgh. It's gonna be, I think, in the single digits. It's an Arctic front coming through tomorrow. It's gonna be cold as fuck in Pittsburgh. The Texans play indoors. This is why a lot of indoor teams suffer in the playoffs when they had to go back to them outdoor venues. Okay. The Steelers are going to win that game. And I like the Texans. They got the best defense right now in the NFL. I like the Texans. But my money's on the Steelers. And I'm going to say this too. And this might be a big fuck you to the Ravens. If Mike Tomlin don't win a playoff game, yeah, he only comes with a winning record. Consistently for 18, 19 seasons. If that man doesn't win this game, Mike Tomlin is probably gone from Pittsburgh. So you might have Sean McDermott, Mike Tomlin, and Matt LaFleur vacancies. You might have 3 coaching vacancies that all 3 of them teams lose come this playoff weekend. So that's the way I see it. I see the Steelers upsetting the Texans. Should be a close game, but old man Rodgers should pull it off. And listen, if Pittsburgh get past the Texans, who gonna stop them? But maybe the Broncos or maybe the Bills. I don't see the Patriots doing that. And listen, Broncos, if Houston beat the Steelers, or if the Bills beat the Jaguars, you're gonna host one of those 2 teams. Because the Chargers ain't gonna beat the Patriots. I'm sorry. So it's gonna be either the 6th seed or the 5th seed. Both them teams, unless it's snowing in Denver, and the Bills like snow. Texas not so much. But if it's 65 degrees in Denver and you gotta play the Texans or the Bills, I'm sorry, the Broncos ain't going to the Super Bowl. They ain't going. They better pray to God it's snowing up there in Denver. They better pray to God that it's bad. The air stand up there. But I wouldn't want to play the Bills or the Texans or the Steelers. I want to play the Jaguars, or I want to play the fucking Chargers or the Patriots. Because Drake Mason, young quarterback, Jacksonville ain't cussing the fucking cold, and the Chargers, Justin Herbert, he injury fucking prone. And it's Jim Harbaugh, you know, he makes some stupid decisions too. So just being blunt. So that's how I see it. Rams win, Bears win, Bills win, Niners win, Steelers win, Patriots win. As far as Geekdom goes, stop misleading your goddamn audience, man, with that Dragon Ball shit. I'll touch on that next week because I ran out of time. I was going to touch on I'll touch on that next week. I hope y'all have a great weekend. I will be back next week. And remember, guys, check the temperature. Check the temperature. It's gonna be fluctuant, but check the temperature. And all we can do for those of us that like to pray, I'm not gonna push religion. I don't do this over here. I don't believe in pushing religion on nobody. But you know, find a safe space in your head that you can meditate or pray. Wherever helps you reassess what's going on around you, and try to make that the focal point to get through what we're going through, because it's gonna get rough over the next few weeks, maybe a few months. It's gonna get rough, and you know I'm gonna be talking more about the government over the next few weeks because I mean it's a lot going on and it's affecting all of us. So why not come together on at least one channel that isn't gonna be biased to one? I don't believe being biased to one party. I believe both parties fucked up. They both fucks. Okay. And really just have conversation, just talk about what's going on and, you know, see what we can do to try to get through it, because we all need to kind of prepare for the worst and just hope for the best. So with that being said, guys, hope y'all have a good weekend, and I'll see y'all next week. It's been Matner. I'm out. Peace.